Yeah, hello guys. So in the today's video, we have a new Minister of Immigration. So we want to talk about who he is and then possibly what kind of changes we may be looking at. So do you know the name of the current Minister of Immigration?
I checked, so it's Fraser.
You have to check.
Yeah, because he's new.
He's new, yes.
Yeah, it's new in politics, and I didn't follow the politics. But what I've heard about, it's like he's a lawyer, has a background in law. He usually to advocate for civil rights and human rights.
Okay.
Call here. And it's involved with immigration calls from the beginning, so
Okay.
it seems it's good.
So Sean Fraser, so born and raised in Nova Scotia, and I don't think his political career has been that long. I found that he's been serving the Liberal government since 2015.
Yeah, not that long.
Not that long. Actually, the thing is, he's not that old either.
Yeah.
I think relatively young politician. He was born in 1984.
84, yeah.
Which is very surprised to see someone that young in this high position. So
Yeah.
It's quite a significantly high position. I know, in general, Trudeau's looking to have diversity in the government.
all the cabinets.
In the
so,
cabinets,
yeah.
and I guess
See that.
including among age as well. So not only older applicants with maybe more experience, but Sean Fraser does look like he has a good chance to do some good in immigration.
I mean, I think Justin Trudeau himself, he was pretty young too when he was first elected as a prime minister.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. I think we don't have to have any prejudice or any idea
Yeah.
against young people if they're qualified and it's competence.
For sure. So since he's a member of the Liberal Party now, elected or appointed as a Minister of Immigration, do we see any special or new changes coming along the way?
I don't expect any big change. I think the path is it's there for a while. Since 2015, Liberals make it very clear they're gonna focus on economic programs, but also they are very open to refugees, so
Okay.
humanitarian cases, which we've seen with
Syrians, yeah.
and
Most recently, Afghanistan.
Afghanistan.
exactly. So
But is it really though? I don't know. I know they always talk about bringing or helping more refugees. But when we look at the system, how they apply, is it really very accommodating?
It's strict for sure. They want to make sure that the people who are coming as refugees or applying as refugees fit that description, and it's a very stringent process and time-consuming process as well.
I think it's not perfect. I'm not an advocate here for open doors, but I think Canada is doing the best that it can do, what it's possible, and of course Canada cannot take responsibility for any trouble around the world and take those refugees in, even though we recognize they need to be replaced. We recognize they are in danger. But yeah, it's a hard job.
I remember back in early 2010s, applying for or at least claiming that I were let's say a refugee, and getting an open work permit was so easy. So many people were sort of abusing the system. There was a huge overhaul, and obviously they did have to really make the change and make the program very strict. But I just think now almost not many people have a shot.
If they have been recognized as refugees before, yes,
Okay.
because if they are in the camps, if they have the certificate, then probably it's an easy case.
Okay.
But other than that, people just trying to fly away and land here as refugee, those ones have a hard time.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, for a lot of applicants, they might see coming as a refugee as just another way to immigrate,
Yeah.
but that's not exactly the case.
Yeah. Sorry, I cut. What you were saying. I think you're talking about like what Liberal Party has been doing with immigration since 2015. Yeah.
Yeah, besides the refugees, we're saying that they have a clear policy for refugees. I think it's very clear where we are going with immigration in Canada. So it's every time that some new policies in place, we see how they benefit people that have work experience here in Canada or student experience, some what they call Canadian experience.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they have this goal in mind, but also it's economic driven. So also your work experience and what we have here as a labor shortage.
Yeah. I think. Yeah, I agree. So I've been seeing like continuous, the good number of intake of international students and temporary foreign workers. Of course, we had a little bit of rough time 2020 and 2021 because of COVID-19, but I think the current government is consistently like trying to bring more students and workers so they can get Canadian experience and Canadian study experience, and they can better adapt to the Canadian society.
Yeah, what I've seen, it's like Canada has the same problems as other developing countries. There is a population that is getting old and need to be replaced on the labor force.
Okay.
So it's very fair to Canada and say, okay, we know what is the problem, and it is a country open for immigration, but also it's a country that has its own needs. So they are focused on that direction. So they need not super young people, but young people that can work for a while, can be in the labor force for a while and contribute.
Taxpayers.
Yes, also. But not just that. So companies in Canada are having a hard time to recover from the last 2 years economically because they need workers and they cannot find here in the market. So that could impact even the production. So it's more than that. So it involves all the system.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why Canada is aggressively like announcing they need more than 1 million new immigrants, like from 2021 to 2023, and they need to really solve the labor shortage and also like skill shortage, because I mean currently many industries are in need of workers in Canada. Yeah, it's just so surprised to see articles saying like, I mean without any prejudice, like restaurant workers, they can get a job for like $20 an hour, $19 an hour, which wasn't possible before COVID-19.
Yeah, that's true.
Like the whole outlook of the like employment industry is changed. It's been changed because of COVID-19.
And especially, oh, sorry, go
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, even something that became more prominent because of COVID is working from home. And I wonder how that might affect things like LMIAs, where
for sure.
a worker is supposed to be working in a physical location, but that might not be available or possible if it became a work from home situation.
Yeah.
Because they could work from anywhere in the world.
I think for sure this could give flexibilities to employers, companies, because they can hire anyone around the world. But then for employees or for workers who want to apply for PR, I don't know like how this is going to play out.
Yeah, it wouldn't count as Canadian work experience.
Technically not, yeah.
Because they wouldn't be on a work permit. They wouldn't need one if they were working from their home country.
So I think we all agree that we shouldn't expect any change on the policies for immigration with this new minister, right?
I would say for him personally, no, but I can foresee because of COVID-related reasons, possibly something in express entry where they may make some kind of official division between CEC and FSW, because as we know, FSW hasn't been invited since December last year, almost 1 year.
And you know, that is one of the weakest points for Canadian labor market, right? So carpenters, plumbers, electricians, all those guys, we need them.
The trade workers,
And then all.
Yeah.
You know. Okay. Do you know if there is anything that we can look for in the future they have promising or they are trying to implement to immigration?
So earlier this year we did have the federal election, and happily for some people, and obviously the other case for some other people, the Liberal government continues to be in power now. So like you pointed out, it's safe to say probably the continuation of the current policy will remain, I think. So means a high focus on the economic class immigrants, still students, workers, and I think IRCC or Immigration Canada is trying their best way to retain the workers currently in Canada. I think in the last video we talked about like how 40,000 new applications accepted in 1 week under the temporary program.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna probably continue doing that, and like I mentioned, they want to bring more new immigrants, 1.2 million, and I don't think IRCC has met the target of 2021 yet. So I can see they're going to aggressively invite more immigrants.
Yeah, I think they've been relatively close to the pace for 2021 and invited more than they would have this time last year. But like you said, they may have to pick it up in the last, I guess the next 2 months of this year to meet their goals.
Yeah, and they say also, one of their promises, like they want to help families to be better reunited. I think actually this is one of the areas where the current government is not doing very well.
Yeah,
I think, like back in 2015, like they said we will help families reunited, but then they introduced this lottery system. First come, first serve.
I try to defend the government in this case, because they did for family sponsorship, especially for spousal sponsorship.
Okay.
So they made the process very fast, short, straightforward. But on the other hand, for family sponsorship, when it's not
Spouse.
your spouse, they just made it harder.
Yeah.
Because now it's lottery based.
But the thing
very
is,
luck.
it's if there's going to be a quota, a small quota every year, there may not be a better way than lottery, because before lottery it was first come, first served. That ended up being a bit of a disaster too, because it was an online EOI system. It opened for I think 5 minutes, 7 minutes. It accepted 30,000 applications. Most people couldn't even log into the system, and everyone complained that it wasn't fair that they couldn't get into the system on their computer.
So yeah, I understand. I think this is connected to what we've said before, that the economic goal for immigration is still applying with this government. So they say, okay, we can have a certain amount of parents to reunite, but at the same time, making lottery based, it seems okay, they don't want. But that is not true, because there is other options beside the family sponsorship. That is the super visa that was created by by the liberals too, that help to have here, or at least have parents close for 2 years under certain conditions. I think what seems is like, okay, they don't want to have those family apart, but at the same time they don't want to have the responsibility for the health.
They don't want the burden on that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's
older
the
person.
entire reason for the quote is they don't expect parents or grandparents to be working, and so that's why
Correct.
they have this high income requirement for the children.
Anyway, personally, I think it will help the family. Okay, so if you have someone that you can trust to stay with your kids, you're gonna have a better structure, and parents can dedicate more time sometimes to work, and that could be good. But of course, it's hard to say. It's hard to say.
Yeah, I think, I mean, personally, I'm not a big fan of how the current government is doing with the family class, especially the parent and grandparents stream. But I can also see this is very hard to solve. The problem is very hard to be solved. Like when I look at U.S. immigration, actually Canadian immigration was the same too. Such a huge, long wait time. If you just accept any application, it's gonna get processed eventually, but maybe 10 years later.
I heard the exact same thing for Australia. They do allow applications from whoever, but they just create a massive backlog 10 years long.
But then, on the other hand, like, in a way, I feel like the government is penalizing people who don't make enough money. So like, if you don't earn enough income, don't be reunited with your family in Canada.
Yes.
So it's sort of, I mean, I think it's double-sided. It's like I said, it's just a problem that we cannot really easily solve.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to sell that to the society too. So why are we going to support older people to come here that probably not going to contribute directly
Economically,
to the economy? And I know they count on votes too. They need the votes to be elected.
Yeah. But still, during their last campaign, they still made some promises. Like they want to speed up the process, like under 12 months, and they are also saying they want to provide a way to spouse and children. Obviously, I guess those are staying overseas. So just like the U.S., they will grant a temporary resident visa. So while their application is in process, they can still come to Canada first and be with their, the other, sponsoring spouse. Yeah. So I think it's a good sign. So, but I think, like you said, a lot of their policies or promises are more geared towards spousal sponsorship. Yeah. And they also say it's one interesting topic. They actually initially promised that they will eliminate the citizenship application fee, if you remember. Back in 2019.
We have a personal bet on that.
So they did promise they would eliminate the application fee for the citizenship, so that way more people can apply for their or become their Canadian citizen. But we're now in November 2021 and we don't see it yet. But during the last campaign, they reiterated that this is coming sometime. But obviously we don't know when it's gonna come.
I think it's possible, but I just personally don't think it's going to happen because they have other priorities. And it's very hard to give away more
This
income.
key source of income,
And the promise did come before COVID started, but if they reiterate it now, recently, then
eventually, eventually
that's
it'll go.
perhaps their intention. But $630 is a lot of money for
It's
most
not cheap.
people.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
Yeah, so when you say just one applicant, but when it's a family, usually 4, 3 people, it makes a difference. It's not that easy to apply. So to give away that amount of money just for
Yeah.
citizenship application.
Because I remember 2019, actually, the conservative, government, and not the government, the conservative party was against it for sure. The idea of eliminating the citizenship fee, application fee, because that's like a revenue of 50 to 60 million dollars a year. So if they eliminate this, then where are they going to, recover that money?
Yeah.
And the IRCC officers, they'll have to work for free. So who's gonna pay that?
Exactly.
So I think it would be good if it happens, but then I think realistically, it's not something that they can easily make it happen. Yeah.
Yeah. I also don't think it's going to happen anytime soon.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Our bet is still, on.
We can be hopeful, but until we see it happen, then we'll
Okay.
just wait.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we can wrap up the video here, and thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.
See you.
Yeah.
Hi guys, thank you very much for watching the video. If you have any questions, just send us an email in this address here and we're gonna assist you.